Recently, I talked about Annie, a TikToker, going viral because she has a scar on her face that people are convinced is fake and drawn on. People who saw her videos were convinced that she was doing this all for clout, and they were going through her old Instagram photos, her old TikToks, trying to compare the scar she has now to what it looked like a year ago or so. And it does for sure look different. But Annie has recently come out in a long post explaining that she got this scar originally from a cruel situation, and later in the post she does say that she wants to bring awareness to DV, and I talked about this post in my last video. But it's very clear that not a lot of people saw this on her page. She says the scar she got from that situation, she tried to heal it, but the topical cream that she received to treat it ended up burning her, which caused her scar to look like what it does now, hence the color change, the size, and shape change. And the reason why I feel like a lot of people didn't read this paragraph on her TikTok and are still thinking that she draws it on and is faking this whole thing to get attention is because she ended up going on the BFFs podcast this past week. And Dave, Bree, and Josh were totally doubting the scar was real, and they for sure didn't look at her TikTok before they went in for this interview. Because right off the bat, she brings up the paragraph in which she addresses kind of how she got the scar, and they very much didn't know what she was talking about, and they were just not understanding why she didn't want to come out and tell everybody how she got this scar, where it came from, why it was so personal, and they didn't even know what post she was talking about. They didn't know there were like two separate issues that got her scar to the way it looks now.
You're sticking with, as we go into this, it's 100% real.
Yes.
And how did you get it?
See, that's personal.
Oh, see, that's where you get right. What do you mean? Did you get attacked by a bear or something?
I did explain this on my TikTok in a really long paragraph. It's like a kind of a recent video.
Do we have the paragraph? Can we read? What do you mean you put it on your TikTok and you won't tell us what it is, though?
Well,
how personal?
No, like I mean, it's just like the original scar is from something personal, but that
but you
isn't
say
like
what it
the whole.
is?
No, I just say it's like personal.
You've never said what it is.
I've never said the direct like cause. But that's just because, like, I don't know. That's, like, one of the things where I feel like social media, I don't know if they need to know every little thing about me.
She goes on to say that she had the scar for 2 years now, and this is something that is very real, very personal to her, and Dave was just not getting it. Like, Dave was the most confused about this whole thing. And, I mean, everyone else was extremely skeptical as well, but Dave just could not wrap his mind around this scar.
When you see, like, go back on my account, you see it's, like, way longer. That's when it was healing from the chemical
burn. It looks upside down, too.
Yeah, because it's, like, really not even, it's just
curves.
not even the same, like, it's just not the same scar. But first it was, like, a little tiny straight line. Now it's a complete curve. And
which seems, I'm not, like, a scar guy, but seems impossible. Like, what do you mean it's not the same scar? You got a scar and just jump places?
No. No. It's, like, two separate injuries.
She says that it's so interesting to her that people want to know so badly how she got the scar, or they feel obligated to ask her what happens whenever they see it.
It's such a tough situation to put inquisitive minds like Josh and mine and Bree with this personal thing, because that can because if you're lying, we have no answer. But if it really is personal, I don't want to push you. But like,
I can tell you that, because I don't know why, personally, I feel like it's, like, a little bit weird that people push so much on social media, and, like, I'll say things like, people are like, oh, how'd you get it? I'm like, oh, raccoon attacked me, or, like, I just, like, say, like, little things just to mess with people, because I think it's funny.
That's the most natural, like, this scar thing when it came, like, I wasn't aware of it till last week, but that's the first natural question, like, how'd you get the scar? And let's say you were lying, the answer of, oh, it's personal is the perfect answer. It's like, all right. Well,
perfect cover.
I guess.
But as she keeps talking about the scar and the details of dealing with it, Josh kind of comes around to believing that she might actually be telling the truth, and makes a really good point about how if it was fake, she probably would have been exposed by now. But nobody has come out to try and say, I went to school with her and she draws it on, and no one has said that.
I've never seen anyone from your school post about you not having a scar. And I feel like if you were going through the effort of putting on makeup every single day, or you were faking it, someone must have like had a picture. Someone
like
must have had something on campus.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got like your senior grad
my
book?
senior on my Instagram, my senior prom, you can see I have my scar. My graduation, I have my scar. My senior pictures. In my yearbook, I have my...
Now, they later bring up the hate that she's been getting online and how people with big followings like Mads Lewis have even come out to make fun of her scar in videos, and how she feels about having so many eyes make fun of her or joke about her situation.
Like, I was upset when I saw Mads' video just because I felt like it was like a step back, because I've been trying to use my platform to show like you should embrace your scars, you shouldn't hide them, and then I feel like if she's making fun of it, it's just like almost like some people like are gonna look at it and be like, oh gosh, like I don't know, like I don't want to get made fun of for my scar.
Dave is at a total loss for words, and it's honestly cracking me up how worked up he is over this whole thing. But in the end, somehow, some way, he does end up coming around. I was pretty surprised because he seemed like he was 100% gonna believe that it was fake, but he does kind of get convinced that she might actually be telling the truth.
I can't figure this girl out. I can't figure Scar Girl out. Like, that's the perfect answer. I was gonna be like, let's get this guy on the phone and find out if it's real. It's like you're like,
Dave, I'm just
ahead.
so calculated. I'm 4 steps ahead of you.
Yeah, big time. It's like, hey, where's your date? I went alone. Hey, how'd you get the scar? It's personal.
I'm just programmed.
My cheek was moving. It doesn't look real. I was on real.
Yeah.
You think it's real, Josh?
I think I got it. I'm now siding with real after I've had this like even just like whatever 10-20 minute conversation. I feel like there's been no stuttering.
I think I'm starting to lean towards the thing's real. But I mean, I would be doing my job.
Yeah,
now I feel like.
And towards the end of the interview, Josh, of course, decides to take the opportunity to shoot his shot with her and ask her if she wants to fly out to LA so he can examine the scar in person and get to the bottom of this whole situation.
Hey, Annie, do you have any plans to go to LA anytime soon?
Oh, no.
So what if I got you a plane ticket and then you flew out here so then I could examine the scar IRL?
I mean, like, IRL? In real life.
In real life.
You can do that, but like I said, like I am currently enrolled in college, so even
that's
like
cool.
this,
We just need like a day.
Like I'm missing a class to do this. Like I always see like if I like opportunities came up, it's
class. Those are the answers that make no sense to me.
He later even says that they can go out to dinner, and it's a whole thing, but they all are pretty much on the side that the scar is real. Now, the comments, on the other hand, under the podcast don't seem too convinced, which is interesting to me. I do feel like she is telling the truth here, but people felt like she should have tried to like rub it off in front of them or something. There's always something more that people want her to be doing to prove that it is real. And there are videos of her trying to wipe it off, and people are convinced that she's not actually like wiping as hard as she should be. I mean, it is a whole debate.
I feel like this is what everyone's just like looking for. Like I wake up in the morning and like I was gonna wipe the side of my nose, like the bronzer off, like, or the self tanner, because honestly that's really all that's on my face right now. And then if I was gonna go wipe over here, literally nothing. I just like I'm sorry. I'm sorry if this blows everyone's mind.
But I think that she's telling the truth here, and what Josh said about nobody coming out to try and expose her is extremely true. I mean, if she was faking it, I feel like by now somebody would have come out with some sort of video trying to say, I went to school with her, I went to college with her, I went to high school with her, and it's drawn on, but that hasn't happened yet. So I really feel like Annie is a truth teller in all of this. And I don't know why none of them had gone through her TikTok before this interview to see some of the things that she said addressing the scar. But I mean, regardless, in the end, she did get them to believe her, so that's good, I guess. It's just so crazy how big this whole situation really has gotten, and that people were honestly sending her so many threats and hateful comments over a scar. Like, come on, why are you saying, oh, I'll give you a real scar? Like, leave her alone. This is not that big of a deal. It is just wild. There's also been people that are trying to say that she's delusional, pathological liar, she's crazy. Like, I feel like those are really bold statements for someone that you don't know if they're actually telling the truth or not. Like, that's wild. But that's what Annie has had to say. Let me know if you guys watched this interview and what you guys thought in the comments. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.